Hey guys, I wanted to share with you the presentation I made about how to help your child improve reading fluency at home. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I had some mic troubles earlier. But a lot of these strategies that I'm going to share with you are things that I use as a teacher. But some of them are things that teachers often, maybe don't have time for or don't have the resources for. And they are things that you can more easily do at home. So let's get started. Okay, so once again, it's very important to support our students' reading fluency. Being able to read fluently just makes reading a more enjoyable experience. It's also the bridge between learning how to decode words and then eventually being able to comprehend the text that you read. Reading fluency allows children to read with speed and accuracy, and this is really important for being able to understand content when they are not having to use all their mental capacity just to decode the words. Then that opens up some room for them to be able to think about what they're reading and draw meaning from the text. Fluency is also important across all subjects. We know that all subjects are really reading subjects. And so reading fluently can help in overall performance at school. And again, if a child is able to read fluently, then they can really enjoy what they're reading, and it does encourage a positive feeling about reading rather than frustration. Okay, so one strategy is to use something called repeated readings. And repeated readings is exactly what it sounds like. You have a paragraph, a sentence, a picture book, whatever it may be, and you allow that student to read that text more than once. If it's short, it might be more than once in the same day. If it's a picture book, it might be once a week or 3 days in a row. And this is very helpful because they start to be able to read the words um, accurately with more automaticity. They gain confidence, they become smoother, and then they're able to understand what they're reading better. Two other strategies are called choral reading and echo reading. And this is when the adult is a model for the student on how to read. So one way to do that is to read together at the same time. That's called choral reading. And again, the student is not going to feel nervous or anxious because they know they have someone experienced reading with them. They can listen to the rhythm and the intonation of the adult voice, and they eventually are able to mimic that. For echo reading, this is a more direct way for an adult to model reading. This is especially powerful if there is a segment of a text that is tricky. Maybe the sentence structure is not a common sentence structure, not something that the student feels comfortable with, or it's just a little bit odd when you try to read it. Then the adult can read that aloud and then ask the student to repeat it, and you're asking the student to mimic the way that you read it. This is a really good way to model for students fluent reading. There is a strategy called phrase cued reading, or I just always called this chunking text into phrases. This helps students get away from that robotic, one word at a time reading. And it also helps students get away from just running through the punctuation and not thinking about how the words relate to each other. So on the screen, it shows you one strategy, or actually, it shows you a couple of strategies for how you can chunk text. You can use slash marks in between your phrases. You can use different colors. It's really important to think about and talk about where do the breaks in the text make the most sense. And also, some students are going to be able to read longer phrases, while other students might have to keep their phrases a lot shorter. There are some things you can find online that have like the most common phrases in the English language. I think I've even seen a free presentation available that you just click on the space bar and you practice phrases, and you can practice getting faster and faster. So this helps with pacing, it helps with expression, it helps with flow, and it makes reading sound more natural. All right, this is one of my favorites. This is like a sneaky little trick that I love, and that is putting captions on your favorite television shows or videos. So when captions are displayed, the student is getting what's called dual exposure. They are listening to the words and they are seeing the words on the screen. This helps out with word recognition. This can also improve comprehension. It's going to help them follow along with the narrative or the dialogue of the characters. And so that is one positive aspect of using captions. And then it can make it a lot of fun. Kids can practice reading along with their favorite character. They can take turns. And then a really funny twist is when you finish with your practicing with the captions, you can turn the captions off and turn the sound off. And just for fun, have the kids or the adults alike make up the dialogue for the show. We always have a lot of fun with that. Poetry and music lyrics. I love this, especially the music lyrics, because students have so much ownership over, what type of music they want to print out and read. Same thing with poetry. There are tons of free poetry sites, and I think that you can pretty much look up the music lyrics to almost any song. And with AI now, I'm sure there are ways to generate it. But using poetry and song lyrics is fun, it's interactive, it exposes students to rhythm and rhyme, and again, builds that natural flow in their reading. And the main thing is, they just are very interested in this type of reading. So, a few tips: praising your child for even the smallest of improvements. Now, I know that this one can sometimes be challenging because I'm a parent myself. I have 3 children, and I can tell you right now that they do not cooperate with me at home working on schoolwork, and I'm a teacher, as much as they would cooperate with another adult. So sometimes when we're working on things at home, it can become a power struggle, a negative atmosphere. And so I hope that you'll be able to make this fun by using some of the more exciting strategies, and mingling those in with some of the more, um, I guess, typical strategies that we would use. So try to keep it positive, keep the sessions short. You're actually going to be more effective with something 10 to 15 minutes than you would be to drag it out and the child just become disinterested. And another way to make reading fun is to use games. Use interactive stories. You can use something called Reader's Theater, and these are wonderful. You can find tons of these free. online, and you can even choose the number of characters that you're looking for. So this could be something that your family did together once a week. And if you have, say, 4 people in your family, you should be able to find a reader's theater online for free. And the thing about reader's theater is it's not a play. You're not trying to memorize the text. You are just reading the text. And again, if you repeat these, so if you do like a repeated reading with a reader's theater, the child is going to just become better and better with that dialogue and with their expression. So that's all that I have for this video on improving reading fluency at home. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you're able to use some of these things at home with your children. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.